Hey Randy, I know I said I probably wouldn't go back and try to find a Speedy Gonzales and a Marvin the Martian, but I was at Walmart with some time to kill and they had a few blind bags left. I came across the Speedy one pretty easily because his sombrero is very noticeable. Now, I'm sure you know, living in San Antonio and all, that sombrero is Spanish for hat. In English, sombrero refers to a particularly distinctive Mexican hat, which is just one of the many stereotypes Speedy Gonzales embodies. But before we get more into the fastest mouse in all Mexico, you're probably wondering, did I get a Marvin the Martian? Unfortunately, no. I didn't really know what to feel for, and there were only a few bags left, and out of the ones that were there, none of them seemed like a Marvin to me. So let's learn about this guy. Most people are probably familiar with Speedy Gonzales from the Looney Tunes cartoons. However, younger generations might not be as familiar because he was somewhat discontinued for a while due to offensive stereotypes. Throughout the 80s, ABC banned him. In 1999, Cartoon Network decided to stop airing Speedy cartoons. And you can't argue that Speedy Gonzales cartoons weren't offensive. The cartoons certainly had a lot of offensive stereotypes in it. But at the same time, the character was a cultural icon for Mexican Americans. In fact, fan outpouring of support managed to get the cartoons back on the air. Old episodes now air with a disclaimer. Modern productions treat Speedy and his world of Mexican characters with much more respect. He's also typically voiced these days by Hispanic actors, with Gabriel Iglesias voicing him in the recent Space Jam sequel.
What's happening, bro?
You may remember that I have Sylvester and Tweety minifigs, which actually go really well with Speedy Gonzales. Of course, all the Looney Tunes exist in a shared universe, but Sylvester and Speedy have history together. Speedy takes on the role of Tweety when Sylvester is in or around Mexico. Speedy would refer to Sylvester as the Gringo Pussigato and would outrun and outwit the cat. Now, as the name implies, Speedy is really fast. That's his main superpower, but he's got a lot of other positive traits, really. He's a very charming and likable hero within his community. He's even a bit of a player, which perhaps isn't necessarily positive depending on how you read into it.
Speedy, he like me.
One joke from the cartoons would involve a character saying, "Speedy Gonzales is a friend of my sister," to which another would reply, "Speedy Gonzales is a friend to everyone's sister." He's also shown to be a cheese thief in some instances, which on its surface might seem negative, but it really is a kind of Robin Hood situation, which also plays into the socialist fervor of Mexico's revolutionary history. Speedy steals cheese from fat cats with an abundance of it in order to feed the starving people of his village. If that's not heroism, I don't know what is. Speedy Gonzales has always been extremely likable, extremely smart, and he's always protecting his community of mice from predatory cats. He wasn't the butt of jokes, he was a hero. Perhaps that's why the Mexican American community responded so positively to this character, despite many negative stereotypes. It is rare for Latino characters to be portrayed in American media as heroes, after all, and in a way, the stereotype of the character's design, such as the sombrero and the revolutionary period outfit, was a way of wearing the character's Mexicanness with pride. Oftentimes, when you do see a Latino character in American media that isn't being played as a villain, you'll see them Americanized or have their cultural identity watered down. But Speedy Gonzales is in-your-face Mexican, and he runs circles around gringo pussigatos. In a column for the LA Times, Gustavo Arellano wrote, "I never saw a stereotype when I first saw his cartoons as a boy. I saw my culture at a time when the English language media didn't bother with us outside of crime and immigration. I love Speedy so much I keep a large painting of him in my home office. His kind smile and brown skin takes me back to my childhood and reminds me where we as Mexicans exist today." Hopefully there is a future for Speedy Gonzales. It seems that Warner Brothers is still a bit uneasy and afraid to offend with this property, which is why you don't see much of him these days. But with some modern updates and putting the character in the hands of someone who understands and is respectful of Mexican culture, Speedy could become a huge step forward for representation in media. See you soon. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe and all that. You can also support the channel and get cool Lego-y perks on our Patreon, like a random minifigure each month or your name in the credits.